Ma'am, let me see your ID. Identification now.
What? I'm just getting coffee like everyone else here.
Step outside with me.
What? I'm not doing anything.
Turn around.
Hey, easy, what are you doing?
The body camera footage from Brennan's Coffee on Lisbon Avenue starts at 9:58 a.m. on a Saturday morning in May. Interior of the shop, weekend crowd, maybe 12 people waiting on orders. Near the counter, there's a black woman in her mid-30s wearing a navy floral dress, holding a latte she just paid for. She's checking her phone, not talking to anyone, not causing a scene, just existing. She's been standing there for less than 2 minutes when an officer enters the frame. What that officer doesn't know is that the woman by the counter is Tanith Bellrose, pediatric emergency room nurse at Children's Wisconsin Hospital. 9 years saving children's lives, 0 criminal record, 0 warrants. She stopped in for coffee on her day off before picking up a birthday cake for her 6-year-old niece. In the next 4 minutes, this officer is going to handcuff her, empty her purse onto the floor, and bruise both her wrists. It will cost the city of Milwaukee $600,000. But what it costs Tanith Bellrose, no check covers that.
Ma'am, put the cup down. Show me your hands.
Well, I just bought this.
Don't resist. Hands behind your back. Now.
I'm not resisting.
Tanith Bellrose is the person they call when a child stops breathing. 9 years in the pediatric emergency room at Children's Wisconsin Hospital. 9 years of blue lips and broken bones and parents who can't stop screaming. She's held a 3-month-old who came in seizing at 2 a.m. and didn't make it to sunrise. She's looked a father in the eye and told him his son wasn't coming home. She's stitched up toddlers who fell off porches and teenagers who fell into the wrong crowd. And she's done it all on 12-hour shifts with steady hands and a voice that doesn't crack. Her colleagues call her unshakable. She grew up 10 minutes from the hospital, daughter of Haitian immigrants who built a life out of nothing and silence and work. Her father, Pierre, drove a cab in Milwaukee for 22 years. Her mother, Mireille, cleaned office buildings on the night shift so Tanith and her brother Kendrick could attend Holy Redeemer Catholic School in uniforms that were always pressed. They didn't talk about dreams in that house. They talked about showing up, being twice as good, giving no one a reason. Tanith listened, nursing degree from UW Milwaukee, pediatric ER specialization, employee of the month 4 times. And she wears a small gold necklace her mother gave her the day she passed her nursing boards, a tiny chain with a single charm she never takes off. In the body camera footage, you can see it catch the light right before the officer grabs her wrist. She picks up her niece Zuri from school every Friday. She has never been arrested, never been handcuffed, never needed a lawyer, never thought she would. She's the person who holds it together when everything falls apart. That Saturday morning, and everything fell apart on her. Saturday, May 24th. Tanith Bellrose wakes at 8:30 a.m. and doesn't move for a full minute. Just lies there. No alarms, no pagers, no code blues. A day off, her first in 11 days. She showers slowly, picks out a navy floral dress she bought 3 weeks ago and hasn't worn yet. Zuri's birthday party is at noon, and Tanith already knows her niece is going to want photos of everything. The cake, the balloons, the aunties. She wants to look good. She wants Zuri to light up and say, "Auntie, you look so pretty," the way she always does, dragging out the word pretty like it has 4 syllables. She drives to Brennan's Coffee on Lisbon Avenue, parks on the street, walks in at 9:54 a.m., orders a vanilla latte at the counter and steps aside to wait. While the barista works the machine, Tanith pulls out her phone and scrolls to the confirmation email from the bakery. Zuri's cake. 2 tiers, pink and lavender, butterfly theme. Pickup at 11:15. She smiles at the screen. She doesn't notice the patrol car parked across the street. Inside that car, Officer Kyle Burkett is finishing a breakfast sandwich. His girlfriend's brother, Cody Hargrove, is in the passenger seat. Hargrove watches Tanith through the coffee shop window, a black woman checking her phone, glancing around the shop the way anyone does when they're waiting for a drink. Hargrove picks up his phone, types a text to Burkett, who is sitting 3 feet away from him. A black woman inside acting sketchy, looking around a lot, might be casing the register. Burkett reads it, doesn't ask what specifically is sketchy, doesn't look through the window himself, doesn't question a single word. He wipes his hands, opens the car door, steps out. 9:58 a.m. Burkett pushes through the door at Brennan's, body camera active. The footage shows him scanning left to right, past the couple sharing a muffin, past the old man reading the Journal Sentinel, and past the mother with a toddler on her hip. His eyes stop on Tanith. She's the only black person in the room. She's standing by the pickup counter, latte in her left hand, phone in her right, scrolling through a bakery confirmation email with butterfly clip art. She doesn't look up when the door opens. She has no reason to. "Ma'am, I need to see some identification." Tanith looks up. Her face shifts from confusion to something careful. "Why? What happened?" "We've had a report. I need to see ID now." "A report about what?" "I just bought a coffee. I haven't done anything. 30 seconds in." Burkett steps closer. His hand closes around her wrist, the one holding the latte. "Don't resist. I'm not resisting. You're hurting me." The cup buckles. Vanilla latte hits the tile in a long brown splash. He pushes her forward against the counter. Her purse slides off her shoulder, hits the floor, spills open. Wallet, chapstick, car keys, and a birthday card. Lavender envelope. Zuri's name written in Tanith's handwriting. Lands face up in the coffee puddle. Customers freeze. A woman near the window pulls her child against her leg and covers her eyes. The child starts crying. A man at a table half stands, then sits back down. Nobody moves. Nobody speaks. Handcuffs close around Tanith's wrists. The gold necklace swings forward and taps the counter. 90 seconds. Start to finish. Tanith is shaking. She doesn't say another word. 7 minutes. And that's how long Tanith Bellrose stands handcuffed in Brennan's coffee, with her purse contents scattered across the tile and a vanilla latte pooling near her shoes. 7 minutes while customers hold up phones and record. 7 minutes while the barista, the one who just handed her that latte with a smile, stands behind the counter and says absolutely nothing. 7 minutes while a 4-year-old buries her face in her mother's leg and won't stop crying. Tanith doesn't speak, doesn't move. She stares at a spot on the wall behind the pastry case and goes somewhere inside herself where none of this is happening. At 10:06 a.m., Sergeant Denise Krawczyk walks through the front door. She pulls up Burkett's body camera feed on her shoulder unit. Watches 12 seconds of it. Her jaw tightens. Uncuff her. Now. Burkett starts talking. She was being uncooperative. She wouldn't. She's holding a receipt and a birthday card. Uncuff her right now. The handcuffs come off. Tanith's wrists are red, already darkening into bruises she'll hide under long sleeves for 2 weeks. Krawczyk asks if she needs medical attention. Tanith shakes her head. She kneels down, picks up the birthday card first, happy birthday Zuri, then her wallet, her chapstick, her keys, puts everything back in her purse, walks out the front door without a word. She sits in her car for 20 minutes, engine off, hands in her lap. She doesn't cry. She's past crying. She's in that numb, airless place where the body shuts down everything that isn't survival. Then she starts the car, drives to the bakery, picks up a pink and lavender butterfly cake, drives to her sister's house, walks in with a smile so convincing that her niece screams, "Auntie!" and tackles her legs. She smiles for every photo, sings happy birthday, claps when Zuri blows out the candles. Nobody at that party knows what happened 2 hours ago. Nobody sees the bruises under her sleeves. And nobody notices that Tanith hasn't eaten a single thing. That night, after Zuri falls asleep in her lap clutching a new stuffed elephant, Tanith carries her to bed, kisses her forehead, and drives home alone. She sits on the edge of her bed in the dark, still in the floral dress, still wearing the gold necklace, And for the first time in 9 years of holding other people's worst moments, Tanith Bellrose doesn't know how to hold her own. Tanith doesn't plan to sue. She doesn't plan anything. As she goes home Saturday night, takes off the floral dress, folds it, and puts it in the back of her closet where she won't have to look at it. She calls Kendrick first. Her brother listens, goes quiet, then says what she expected him to say. Let it go. Filing complaints, making noise, that only makes things worse for people who look like us. You're okay. You're home. Leave it alone. She calls Lael next. Lael doesn't go quiet. Lael says burn them to the ground. Sue the city. Sue the officer. And sue whoever called it in. Get a lawyer Monday morning. Tanith says she'll think about it. She doesn't think about it. She goes to bed and stares at the ceiling until 4 a.m. Then, 48 hours later, the body camera footage appears online. No one knows who leaked it. Someone inside the Milwaukee Police Department uploaded 4 minutes and 11 seconds of Tanith Bellrose being handcuffed for holding a latte, and the internet did what the internet does. On 3.2 million views in 72 hours. Comment sections on fire. Her face on every local news broadcast in Wisconsin and half the national ones. Co-workers texting, "Is that you?" Her supervisor calling. And then Monday morning, in the middle of a shift, a patient's mother looks up from her son's bedside and says, "Oh my God, you're the woman from the video." Tanith excuses herself, locks the supply closet door, stands there breathing until her hands stop shaking. She didn't ask for this. And she didn't leak the footage. She didn't want to be a story. But she is one now. That afternoon, a woman named Devorah Lattimore sits down across from her in a borrowed conference room at the Milwaukee NAACP legal pad. Reading glasses. A voice like someone who has done this before and will do it again. Devorah doesn't ask Tanith if she wants to fight. She asks her one question. Do you want what happened to you to happen to someone else? Tanith thinks about the birthday card on the floor. The 4-year-old crying. The barista who said nothing. No. Then we file. Bellrose versus City of Milwaukee lands in federal court on a Tuesday. By Thursday, the city's attorney calls Devorah with an offer. $40,000 and a written apology. Devorah doesn't call Tanith, doesn't need to. That's not an offer, that's an insult. Try again. Discovery opens like a wound. Burkett sits for his deposition on a Wednesday morning. 6 hours. Devorah doesn't raise her voice once. She doesn't have to. She just asks questions and lets him hang himself. Officer Burkett, when you entered Brennan's coffee, what specifically did you observe that was suspicious? She was near the register. Doing what? Standing. What about standing is suspicious? He doesn't answer. Who told you there was suspicious activity? Cody Hargrove. And where was Mr. Hargrove at the time? In my patrol car. Your patrol car. And what is your relationship with Mr. Hargrove? He's my girlfriend's brother. There's the room shifts. The city's attorney stops writing. Did you verify his claim before approaching Ms. Bellrose? No. Did you observe any criminal behavior yourself? Number. Did you ask Mr. Hargrove to describe specific criminal behavior? No. Officer Burkett, how many formal complaints have been filed against you alleging racial profiling? 14. And how many resulted in disciplinary action? None. Devorah lets the silence hold. Then she leans forward. 14 complaints, 0 consequences. And you walked into that coffee shop and treated that woman like a criminal based on a text from your girlfriend's brother. Hargrove is deposed separately. His 911 history shows 3 prior suspicious person reports. All 3 describe Black or Latino individuals. None resulted in arrests. None described specific criminal behavior. Devorah asks him why he texted about Tanith. He shifts in his chair. I was just being cautious. Cautious. A word that covered up everything and explained nothing. And the lawsuit lives in a courthouse. The damage lives in Tanith's body. She stopped sleeping through the night in week 2. She wakes at 3 a.m. with her wrists burning, phantom handcuffs tightening around bones that healed weeks ago. She lies in the dark and watches the ceiling fan turn and counts her breathing the way the therapist taught her. 4 in, 7 hold, 8 out, and it doesn't work. Nothing works. The ER is the worst part. Police bring patients in all the time. Overdoses, assaults, accidents. Every time a uniform walks through those double doors, every time a radio crackles on a belt, Tanith's hands lock up. She drops a tray of instruments in Trauma Bay 3 because an officer's shoulder brushes hers in the hallway. Her supervisor pulls her aside. "You okay?" She says yes. First time in 9 years she's lied at work. Her performance review in August has a note she's never seen before. Inconsistent focus. Recommend follow-up. 9 years of flawless reviews. And now this. A coffee shop on a Saturday morning is rewriting her professional record. The therapist says the word in their 3rd session, PTSD. Tanith stares at her. That's for soldiers. The therapist says no. That's for anyone whose body won't let them forget. Month 3, she calls Devora at 11 p.m. I can't keep reliving this. Every deposition, every update, every time I see my own face online, I just want it to stop. Devora drives to her apartment, sits on her couch, doesn't argue. You can stop, that's your right. But Burkett has 14 complaints, and the 15th just happens to be on camera. If you stop, number 16 happens to someone who doesn't have a video. Tanith doesn't answer that night. She sits in the dark after Devora leaves and holds her gold necklace between her fingers. She calls at 7 a.m. Keep going. The city's attorney opened with confidence. The stop was brief. Officer Burkett was responding to a civilian tip. No charges were filed. The subject was released within minutes, and $150,000 was more than generous for an encounter that lasted under 10 minutes. Devora Lattimore sat across the table and said nothing. She let the man finish. Let the silence hang for a beat after his last word. Then she asked one question. May I play something? She pressed play. Full volume. No edits. The room watched a woman in a floral dress get grabbed by the wrist. They heard the coffee hit tile. And they heard Tanith's voice. I'm not resisting, Sos, cracking just barely at the edges. They heard a child scream, and they saw a birthday card land face up on the floor, pink envelope handwritten in blue ink. Happy birthday, Zuri. Love, Auntie Tanith. Nobody in that room moved. Devora stopped the footage. Then she opened a folder and slid 14 files across the table, one at a time, slowly. 41-year-old black man. Pulled over for a broken taillight. Searched without consent. Complaint closed. 26-year-old Latina woman. Stopped for jaywalking. Handcuffed. Complaint closed. She read all 14. Same officer. Same pattern. Same outcome every time. Complaint closed. Complaint closed. Complaint closed. The city's attorney asked for a recess. They came back 40 minutes later with a different number. $600,000. A civilian complaint review board. Mandatory body camera activation. Retraining for officers with repeat complaints. Tanith had been quiet the entire session, but when they asked if she had anything to add, she leaned forward. 3 complaints triggers mandatory review. Not 14. 3. The city agreed. The settlement papers were signed on a Thursday. $600,000 total, $350,000 to Tanith, $250,000 to fund a civilian oversight pilot program for the city of Milwaukee. Burkett suspended 120 days without pay, reassigned to a desk where the only thing he'd touch was paperwork. And Hargrove charged with filing false police reports, 3 counts. Body camera mandates expanded to every stop, every interaction, no exceptions. And the thing Tanith fought hardest for, 3 complaints triggers mandatory review. Not 14. 3. Devora called it a win. The NAACP called it a landmark. The local news called it a turning point. Tanith called it a Tuesday. 6 months later, she stood at a podium in a community recreation center on the north side. Same gold necklace. Same steady hands she'd trained in the ER. She talked about the reforms, the oversight board, the data collection, the accountability measures that didn't exist before a nurse got handcuffed for buying coffee. Then she stopped. The $600,000 doesn't fix the fact that I panic every time I see flashing lights in my rearview mirror. You can't write a check for that. My niece asked me why the policeman was mean to Auntie. She's 6. I didn't have an answer. The room went quiet. No applause. No standing ovation. Just a woman telling the truth to people who needed to hear it. 2 weeks later, Tuesday morning, a coffee shop 3 blocks east of Brennan's. Tanith walks in, orders a vanilla latte, sits by the window, watches the street. Her hands don't shake. It's not healing, not yet. It's the beginning of healing. And she's decided that's enough for now. As always, I will see you in the next one.